What's happening, folks? So let me tell y'all, this is the conclusion. This is day 5 of Las Vegas. So when we get there, we had an early flight, right? So we get our stuff packed up. We ready to go. We clear out of the hotel room, make our way to the airport. We get there about, I say, 9ish. Our flight was at no, it was a little earlier than that actually. Our flight was at 10, so we got there about 8:30. We got there 8:30, did all our check-in and everything like that. Hey, we think we good to go. Before we went up to the escalator to go to our gate, out of absolutely nowhere. I don't know where this dude came from. I don't even know how he saw us because he was all the way up the escalator. He spotted my dad. I'm like, how did you spot him from that far away? First of all, how we go clear across the country and you find somebody that you know? Everywhere I go with that dude, he always knows somebody there. I'm like, how you do that? And I'm like, how did this man spot you at the top of the escalator? How he spot you out of all them people at the airport? Because the airport was packed. It wasn't like it was quiet. It wasn't like it was a low travel day. None of that. It was packed because when the Magna show was over, and there's people traveling in general. So it was a pretty busy day at the airport in Vegas. But we saw this random dude from my dad knew out of nowhere. I'm like, whatever, man. It was just got on my nerve. So we at the airport. Flight scheduled leave at 10. We see we see the status of the flight, and we notice that we have been bumped off our flight. We bumped off the flight. It's like, oh, okay. All right, so when's the next one? That's all you can do at that point. Like, hey, when's the next one? All right, they said it'll be another hour. Okay, fine. We get bumped again. This goes on. Now, mind you, we got the airport at 8:30. This goes on all day. We end up spending almost 16 hours at the airport. Well, almost 16 hours at the airport because we kept on getting bumped off our flight and planes needed fixing and all that nonsense. 16 hours. Yo, let me tell you. By hour 4, I was already irritated. I was annoyed by hour 4. Once hour 8 hit, I'm livid. But there's nothing I can do about it. But when I don't know who I go fuss at. The airport terminal's packed with people who got the same problem we got. So it is what it is. We just waiting, right? Hour 10. I'm fed up. I'm completely and utterly fed up. I don't want to be around nobody. I don't want to talk to nobody. And I don't want nobody talking to me. So I just go walk in the airport terminal. I figure I got time. We ain't going nowhere. We gonna be here, so I can go see the airport. So I went all over Vegas airport. I'm talking all over. And it took me a couple hours to go over there, to go through the whole airport. It took me a couple hours. So I was over there just meandering about, just trying to kill some time until I heard something. I think I would get a phone call once we know that it was, time to go, right? I didn't even get that call. So I wanted the airport, and I made my way back to the gate that we were at. And I was like, hey, ain't a word yet? The pops told me, nope. My frustration is very visible. When I'm angry, I show it. I don't hide it. A lot of emotions I can hide. Anger is not one of them. When I'm mad, I'm mad. And everyone knows I'm mad. So I sit down in the chair at the terminal. In the meantime, it's another little guy who just yap, right? He wasn't with us, but he was just a little young white guy. He was just yapping away, right? Because, again, we all getting bumped off our flights because of mechanical issues, because overbooking, you name it, it was happening. So he just yapping away. And I wasn't really paying him too much of attention because I was trying to get home. I was thinking about myself, trying to get home. And then Rando, now mind you, it's Rando from the beginning. Rando who's been kind of weird this whole trip, just saying little random stupid stuff that I didn't care to hear about, gonna sit beside me and gonna sit up here and start talking to me. I don't want to hear nothing you gotta say, man. I really don't want to hear nothing you gotta say. One, I don't like you already. I don't like you to begin with. You made my flight over here. You forced me to listen to Kelly Clarkson because I didn't want to talk to you, whom I love now. Kelly Clarkson, that's my girl. But I don't want to talk to you, man. I don't want to talk to you. This fool gonna sit up here and say like, hey there, youngster. You know, you letting something like this get you, something this small, get you all bent out of shape. I've been here all day, man. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that. I've been here all day. If you don't get on my face, I'm going to strangle you. And he going to talk. He going to sit up here and say, well, youngster, I mean, man, in business, right? If just something like this, if something like this bother you, what I'm saying? That makes me think, he ain't worth the investment. I looked at that man. Who you talking to? Who you think you talking to? Who the hell you think you talking to? Before I can get it out, because I read it say, who the you think you talking to? Before I can get out, my dad told me, shut up. He said, shut up. He was like, he told Rando, he called him by his name again. I ain't saying his name, but he said, leave him alone. He don't like you. He don't want to talk to you. My dad Papa pointed to me. Like, you shut up, you be quiet, you sit there, you wait. Reason why, he's like, I've been sitting in this chair, my dad's in a wheelchair. So I've been sitting in this wheelchair for 14 years. Y'all getting bent out of shape over 14 hours. Get over it and grow up. I had to straighten up a little bit on that one. And then the guy who was still just yapping, he told him, like, you sit down, you shut up too. You doing all this talking and you ain't getting nowhere but the same place we at, stuck at the airport. You sit down and shut up and you wait. You white and you can't go nowhere. What makes you think they're gonna let any of us can't go nowhere? Ain't about nobody's color. It's about them making sure they got a plan for us. All right, now you sit down, you shut up. Y'all, my dad's voice isn't very loud because of his injury and because of what happened to him. His voice isn't loud. The entire airport was silent. From our gate to the entire spot where we were, dead silence. God is my witness, it was silent there. It was surreal to hear someone speak with that type of authority. And it wasn't like, that it wasn't like command or anything like that. It was godly authority to change the atmosphere because it was pure chaos. People there freaking out. Everyone, because we all was at the airport for a long time. All of us were there for a long time. We were there all day. We were tired. We were hungry. We were dirty. We wanted to leave. But with that type of authority, when my dad spoke, everyone calmed down. And everyone sat down, got their bearings. And it was incredible to see it. I witnessed it firsthand. I always knew God was real. I always knew that from my personal experience and things I've seen. I've never seen that authority before. That where you can change the atmosphere where you are just by your voice. Of course, something ridiculous had to happen too. The lady that was sitting beside my dad, she leaned over. You want a bottle of water? Just out of nowhere, and I couldn't help but laugh because it was just so random. It was literally like a movie it was literally like a scene out of a movie. The way she asked for a bottle of water after the whole airport just got shut up. And my uncle, being my uncle, he up there, he making forts and whatnot. Because he's ridiculous. He was making forts out of their chairs and whatnot. Telling us, yeah, y'all, this is my new house until we leave here. He's just ridiculous. And a tear came down his eye. And he was like, because my dad had just the authority to do that. He had that godly authority to just calm everything down. And after he did that, we literally got on the plane about a little less than an hour later. We got on that plane an hour later. It took a minute to board because still had to get past and everything like that. So boarding took us a minute, but we got on the plane. And again, I don't sleep when I travel. So I'm up that whole night because I was relieved, but at the same time, I was still fuming at rando. I completely plotted on what I was gonna do to that man and how I was gonna do it. Straight up, he would have been left in the desert. He'd have been left in the desert because that's how angry he got me. And something that taught me is that people can push your buttons every which way. And you know what? They may not be aware that they're even doing it. So that taught me that when people go off and they snap and, you know what I'm saying, they commit terrible, horrible things, you don't know what that person's going through. You don't know what's on that person's mind. So instead of being antagonistic, you can have more of a friendly approach, or just leave that person be. Straight up. Because I've never been to that point before. But that guy drove me to that point to where I wanted to do physical harm to him. Like, for real. Like, for real. I wanted to hurt him so bad. But I didn't. But, I mean, I never had the intent. I never plotted out what I was going to do to this. I had it thought out in detail. So, this just let me know that, one, you don't know where people are mentally. So, one, be kind to folks. Be kind to people because you don't know what they're dealing with, what they're going through, where they are, and what they're willing to do. Because some people will throw their whole life away to prove a point. Some people are willing to do that, and some people are happy to do that. So you just don't know. Also, lesson I learned from this is just how real God can be in your life. And you can see it firsthand. It don't take a burning bush for you to say, oh, it's so much deeper than that. It didn't take a burning bush. Now, again, like I said, I always believed, but when I saw that type of authority, I saw the atmosphere change from someone who couldn't speak loudly. Even if my dad has a microphone, I'm sure y'all seen the video clips, but even on the microphone, his voice doesn't carry far. But in that airport, in that terminal, when he spoke, it was authority behind it. It was godly authority behind it, and it changed the atmosphere. Everyone was completely quiet. Everyone was nice to each other. We were civil. It was wow, considering that not even 20 minutes before my dad said anything, it was chaos at that terminal. Pure chaos. And just by opening your mouth with godly authority, how you can change the atmosphere and set the tone. And it was amazing to see. And I always tell him, and I tell my dad to this day, man, like that was by far one of the biggest displays of godly authority I've ever seen. To have them people we didn't know just sit down, quiet. Once we started boarding, where everyone was civil, it was amazing to see. And that's how we ended Vegas, with that. Me plotting on committing an act that will get me in some serious trouble. Thank God I didn't do it. But we ended with that. And my father showing, just saying those words and having the godly authority with it that changed the atmosphere of the entire airport terminal. Again, I ain't never seen nothing like that before in my life. And it lets me know just how real God is and just how real God is in some people. So, hey, y'all, take that for what you will. But I hope this journey through Vegas has helped y'all with something. Whether it's just treat people right, whether it's, hey, don't be antagonistic, whether it's, hey, man, it's something beyond you. But that was my Vegas trip, my first time going to Vegas, and I went with my dad, uncle, and Rando. And to this day, I'm not a fan of Rando. I'll never have to talk to him. Uncle, he's my uncle. That's him. And my pop is my pop, and he's one of the best people I know. So that's my first trip to Vegas, y'all. So yeah, be kind to folks. You don't know what they're dealing with. God is real.